is his book is The Art of Impossible. So yeah, we've got what it is, and then what all is happening.
Okay.
Under the covers, kind of give you some. I love neurobiology and neuroscience and the biochemistry of it and stuff. Do you love that too? Well, so we're going to cover some of that, which is kind of how it works, so you know what it is we're taking advantage of. Some people call it biohacking. I don't really like the term biohacking because biohacking says we're hacking into something. We're not that we're breaking into something and taking advantage of it. But actually, we're not breaking into it. We're learning how it works. What did God give us?
Yeah.
And how do we make it happen? And then some useful tips and tools that you can use right away is number 3. So that's what we'll be covering.
Nancy, what did you say your last name was?
It's Cramer.
Oh, Cramer.
Yeah, Cramer. Yeah, Nancy Cramer. And I have a website. It's nancycramer.com. I have nothing on there about what I do. So that's got to change. But anyway, but you can reach me at info@nancycramer.com or always, of course, through Dr. Felicity Joy Sullivan. Okay. So I'm going to talk about this guy, Stephen Kotler. Stephen Kotler did not invent flow. God invented flow. Okay. Stephen Kotler is a writer, and he became very curious about flow and how it works and started writing about it. So he was a science writer for like Discover magazine, GQ magazine, things like that. And he also hung out with these extreme sports people who were snowboarding and surfing were mainly, he's a skier and he's also a surfer. So he was following these extreme sports guys around the world and writing about them. Before you guys have heard about the X Games, right? So before the X Games, there were people going around and doing all kinds of wild things. Now, one of the things that happened to Kotler, because he's running around the world following these people and writing about them, is he was also getting injured a lot. He broke, 86 bones. So over this time, he had downtime. So he would go and do these extreme things with these guys and then break something, and he would have to be on the couch for 3 months. And then he'd come back. And when he came back, suddenly these guys were doing stuff that 3 months earlier had been impossible. And he got curious. He's like, wait, how is that working? How is it happening that what was impossible 3 months ago, now everybody's doing it as though it's no big deal? So he started studying it and studying what's going on with these people, what's happening inside their heads. And this was before the X Games was created. So these people were doing wild stuff long before that. They were doing wild stuff, just to be able to pay the rent at ski resorts. So it's an interesting. He's got some very interesting stories about that. So if you're interested in some of his writings, so he was studying flow and what these people got into to be able to do what was impossible. And he's also a science writer, so he had, because of his contacts in the writing world, when you call up a researcher and you say, this is Stephen Kotler from the New York Times, suddenly they let you in. So he had this beautiful entree into all of these psychology researchers and these biochemists and these neuroscientists and all of this. So it was this cool mix between the experiencing this and finding out what is it that I'm experiencing? What is it that these people are experiencing? So now he's created the Flow Research Collective. So all of that to say, he's published 11 commercially published books, 4 New York Times bestsellers, and he's won a Pulitzer Prize. He was a poor boy from Cleveland. He came from nothing. So I would say he did the impossible as well. Even while writing about other people who are doing the impossible, he also did the impossible. So he writes about that in the book, The Art of Impossible. So what he talks about is what is this flow state and what's going on inside our brains and how can we take advantage of it. Now, he is a secular writer. He is not writing from a religious perspective. I bring into the conversation, and I want all of us to bring in the conversation to help me think about this through the lens of believers. So let's work on this together. So let me ask you this. Okay, so what is your best time of day? Who here is a morning person? Morning? Oh, we're all morning people. Yay, 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 yay. So, we get up early, we get things done. That's when we're cooking with gas, right? We're going. And then what time do you start to expire?
About 8:30.
About 8:30? You start to. So if I asked you to do a really complicated task like read 3 chapters in this book, you'd be like,
not at 8:30.
No, not happening, right? What time do you start to fade?
About 10.
About
Closer
10?
to 10.
A little more like 10. And what about you?
2:00 actually is not a great time to ask me to do things. I'm already starting, but I perk back up and then I'm down at 9.
Okay, so you're down at 9. So you have a lag in the middle of the day as
Yeah.
well. Do you have a lag in the middle of the day? Do you have a lag?
Yeah,
You do too? What time's your lag?
I would say 4 o'clock.
Okay, about 4 o'clock. All right, so we all have that, and mine is closer to yours. Like I am raring to go first thing in the morning, but don't ask me a bunch of questions late at night. Don't ask me to do anything complicated. Right. Driving home from choir practice is about as tough as it gets for me at that time of night. So that's where we have these natural circadian rhythms that our bodies go through, and every living organism on the planet has it. Isn't that wild? Yeah. Plants have it. Moss have it. Little salamanders have it. Everybody has a internal body clock. We are aware of that circadian rhythm. So what about flow? So what about flow? Well, flow is that state when we're, like I said, cooking on gas, where everything's going just right, where we are in the zone, right? They talked about the zone. They do that a lot in sports. The zone. We're in the zone and everything's going. And that's the time when we can get 300 to 400% more done if we can stay focused. And what's interesting is it's not just the thoughts inside our head. It is a true physiological state. Our biochemistry, our neurology completely changes when we're in a flow state. Mm. And that means that we can control it. So we can take control of the flow state, invite God in, and then, we're able to get so much more done. So that's what flow is. So, okay, so let's get some conversation because I need to drink a little bit of tea and to catch my breath. What do you think about flow? What have you heard about flow? What do you...
First time that I'm hearing about flow.